Hey everyone, it is tea time with the diva. Grab your tea, grab your coffee, because we're going to get into it. This tea time is dedicated to Sean Kingston, who, along with his mother, were found guilty of fraud, like stealing from a jewelry company, a bed company, a entertainment TV company. So, at the end of the day, now you're going to serve 3.5 years in jail because you wanted to live large. It's sad. Do I feel for him? I feel for him in the sense that, now with this social media, maybe even before, everybody's blinging online, looking like they living their best and their greatest life. And everybody, when they become a celebrity, even if they don't have the money, but they have celebrity status, they want to make it seem like to the people like they got it all together. I wouldn't front for nobody. I would tell you the truth. Here I am in my townhouse that I love, and this I have this, that, and that, and I don't have this, even though I'm on such and such show or I made 13 hours. I don't have the money like that. It would take a lot of stress and pain off of you. Now you're going to be behind bars for 3.5 years. You're a convicted felon. And for what? Because you wanted to have a big screen TV, a luxury bed, and jewelry. Let me go ahead and share screen because the judge, he didn't want this time. He wanted to do his time at home with an ankle monitor, but the judge was like, nah, 3.5 years. And his mother got sentenced to 5. So he's lucky. He got less time than mama. Let's take a listen.
Sean Kingston getting sentenced to 3.5 years in federal prison today for wire fraud. His lawyers saying this case was about more than just theft.
It was about the fact that he was a 16-year-old who rose to fame overnight and never had any guidance on finances, never knew how much money was in his bank account. Business managers handle that, and some of them didn't handle it properly. So we're here today because Sean still to this day doesn't know how much money is in his bank account and does like to buy nice stuff.
Remember, his mother was found guilty of fraud and grand theft as well. She got sentenced to 5 years in federal prison last month. Prosecutors said Kingston and his mother used his celebrity name to trick luxury businesses into delivering things to them before getting payment. The payments were then made using fraudulent or worthless wire transfers. Kingston and his mom ended up stealing more than $1 million worth of stuff. According to arrest warrants, the pair defrauded a jewelry business, a luxury bed company, car dealerships, and a TV company. Jesse Kurst is joining us now with more on this outside the courthouse. Jesse, the sentence, it could have been worse, right? The government had asked for more time. What happened in court and what's coming next?
Yeah, so prosecutors, Yasmin, had asked for 60 months behind bars. He wound up getting sentenced to 42 months, as well as 3 years of supervised release. His attorneys have been pushing for him to spend no time behind bars. His legal team arguing that Sean Kingston should have just served time under house arrest, which he had been doing leading up to his sentencing. His attorneys had pointed to several things, including the fact that they say that he had repaid much of what was owed. They pointed to what they say were good works he'd done in the past, including serving meals around Thanksgiving to those in need. But the judge clearly determined that Kingston needed to spend at least some time behind bars. We did hear from Kingston's legal team afterward. We did not hear from Kingston himself because he was immediately taken into custody. Here's part of what we heard from Kingston's legal team.
I think that anybody who buys diamond jewelry, and you all know from social media, I would call it an addiction. Just like people who have an addiction to gambling get a lower sentence, I would say that this was an addiction to nice stuff.
And here's also a look, Yasmin, at some of the figures that have been discussed in this case. And at this point, the amount of restitution is still TBD. There's a hearing set in October, or I should say in October. That is when we are expecting a conclusion to the amount of money that Sean Kingston will still owe, unless there is any kind of agreement reached between prosecutors and the defense team in between between now and then. And that is what played out outside of the courthouse. We're actually in Miami now. So we're in the general area, but that's what played outside the courthouse. Again, we saw Sean Kingston going into the courthouse. He didn't say anything to us when I asked him what he was going to say to the judge, but he did make some brief comments in the courtroom. He made the push to be able to turn himself in, saying he had some medical appointments that he needed to handle before he was taken into custody. But the judge had him immediately remanded to custody. And so now he's going to be spending years now, Yasmin, behind bars.
Jesse Kirsch, thank you. Appreciate it.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news.
Well, the thing is, if he had medical appointments, he should have handled those medical appointments before he came to court. Like, he knew this thing could have went either way. So on that note, I ain't feeling for him. But let me share screen again so we can get a little bit more about this story. So Sean Kingston sentenced to 3.5 years in prison after the $1 million fraud scheme conviction. Sean Kingston has been sentenced to 3.5 years in a federal prison for his role in a $1 million fraud scheme. On Friday, before the U.S. Judge David handed down Kingston's sentence in a South Florida courtroom, the Jamaican rapper 35 apologized and claimed he had learned from his actions, according to the Associated Press. However, the judge denied Kingston's attorney request to self-surrender at a later date due to health issues, instead ordering the musician to be taken into custody immediately. Ugh. Kingston, who was wearing a black suit and a white shirt, removed his jacket to be handcuffed and was escorted out of the courtroom. In March, Kingston, born Keyshawn Paul Anderson, and his mother Janice Eleanor Turner were each found guilty of 4 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Turner, 63, was sentenced last month to 5 years in prison, so it's 68. 68. First of all, going to prison in your 60s, dreadful. But at 68, she's going to get out of prison, which is far less than the maximum 20 years she and her son were each facing. So I guess in some sense, they caught a break. Immediately after being convicted, Kingston, who was allowed to wait sentencing at home while his mom was deemed a flight risk and taken into custody right away, teared up as he asked the U.S. Marshals to protect her. Prosecutors accused the mother-son duo of having unjustly enriched themselves by falsely representing they had executed bank wire or other monetary payment transfers as payment for vehicles, jewelry, and other goods purchased by the defendants, who knowingly never sent any funds. During the trial, Turner admitted to handling her son's finances irresponsibly. Hey, mother dearest, honey. Kingston was arrested in California in May 2024 after the SWAT team raided his Fort Lauderdale, Florida home. Turner was arrested during the raid. People love negative energy. The beautiful girl's artist told his Instagram follower this at the time. I'm good, and so is my mother. My lawyers are handling everything as we speak. Well, sir, y'all wasn't good. Mama wasn't good. Mama's behind bars for 5 years. You 3.5, and I guess you have nothing. Hopefully, he closed out all of his home and his business affairs before he went. You know, thinking he was going to get to go home and surrender later. I don't know why he thought that was going to be the case, or maybe he was really banking on the fact that this judge might give him probation and home arrest. But in situations like this, you always got to put in your head the worst case scenario and plan for the worst case scenario. And then if something better happens, then you rejoice in that. Listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for watching. And I think his mother got more time because she had issues in the past where she was arrested for writing bad checks and stuff like that. So I think that's why she got more time, but she's fortunate that having a prior history, she didn't get more than 5 years. Anyway, guys, chat with me. I'll chat back. I'll see you in the next video.